swing around there.
You guys need a snippet.
Yeah, we're going to backtrack a little bit. I want to show you. Let me show you from this part here. This is the throw across the two passes across the field for the score. But we're going to watch. Here's the disc. I think this is the receiver, the next receiver, and this is his defender who's going to mark. This is one of these cases where the mark actually overplays in order to cut off the continuation. And we're going to see the response of two different receivers to this overplay of the mark here. Okay, so watch these two guys here. And I'll try to do this in somewhat slow motion here. Look out the disc, see the mark? The mark's overplaying there, right there. And that opened up that passing lane right there. So you hear that. So you saw that, right? I'll backtrack a little bit and let's watch this guy here. Okay. Let's watch his motion for this. So now this thrower just caught it. His mark hasn't set, but it's open to play. And then watch how far this guy goes here. He actually knows where to stop. See, because he reads the lane there and starts to turn around and square. He actually squares up and faces his thrower as this is coming in. So he knew not to go too far back because that marker was going to overplay that. So that's a case where that passing lane, the dead zone had swung too far, opening up an easy throw back into the middle of the field here. Okay, so that guy did a proper read. Let's backtrack and watch a different receiver here. Let's watch this guy. This guy is actually like a handler type here. He's actually gonna read this guy's overplay also here. So you can watch what happens here. He's just about, with the disc being caught here, he's just about to try a continuation cut, so that it's continued out over here. So you can see his body movement is saying, he's going to cut off to the left. But watch what happens here. See, he all of a sudden changes direction, goes right. That's because he read the overplay of that mark, knowing that that's cut off. And now he went to go attack this downfield area here. Let's let you back up here. So watch the mark. He's overplaying. And then look at this lane here that this guy is now cutting to. See this whole lane here? That's actually a really wide open give and go lane here. And so this was actually a proper read on this guy's part to know that the continuation pass for him was cut off, but because the dead zone was going to swing, this whole passing lane here was going to open up even further. And sure enough, they actually could have taken that here. It would easily, to this part of the field here, he might have been able to streak into the end zone itself. It sort of just depends on what these two guys, how they were starting to respond to that play. But it was a valid thing for that receiver to do. Okay? You can see how subtle it might look and how quickly this stuff happens. Look. I'll play it at real time. You can see it. You kind of see how quickly these reads are, but they're definitely there. But they're actually easy to see. It's easy to read once you get used to reading these things. There it goes, yeah. That was, yeah. So you can see how reading the mark and just reading what's going on in the field really comes into play as you're moving around. I want to show you one more opportunity here. This falls under the concept of adjusting. You remember this? This is the guy who it was a tight throw. He caught it and hit the ground and came back up. It's tough and slow motion. They really jammed this in. You kind of hate to see that. Right. Now this is kind of interesting here. You probably see that lane as much as I do, right?
Yeah.
Man, that sucker, that's a nice passing lane right here. The thing about this lane though, it actually doesn't stop right here. This is not the passing lane here. The end zone goes all the way out here, and it's actually back to the end zone's way back down here. That's the entire passing lane here. You always have to remember that. The action doesn't have to be a cut toward the cone. The cut could actually be really deep. And we're going to actually see that this could have happened here. This guy here actually lost an opportunity here. In fact, he peeled his cut off really early. This guy was on him, right?
Yeah.
There's actually something, this falls under the category of make your space. The concept of make your space is you want to cut to space that's easy for the thrower. You can actually help keep space easy for the thrower if you keep defenders out of there, right? And what you can do is, if there's a spot where you think is easy for the thrower, you want to kind of tweak your defender away from that spot, either by earlier in the cut, starting to cut somewhere else and getting his body to go that way, and then you pop into the spot you want to go to, or you go completely in the opposite direction. You might even stop to make it look like you're not going to go to that spot, but then when he decelerates, then you go, because you'll get a little separation at that moment. There's some ways you can tweak your guy to give you the separation so that you can go into that spot. This defender is actually right on this guy, but he actually might have had the opportunity to do one of these make your space opportunities. And you see this other defender here? As he was coming in, a lot of defenders know that receivers want to go to the corner, and so they tend to position themselves to cut off that throw. And so if he had actually kind of swerved as if his cut was going to come up to this area here, sort of toward this other defender, his defender running stride for stride is going to have to lean his body, his mechanics back toward